Hello and welcome to Hockey Hypothetical, serious answers to silly questions. Each episode we will be taking preposterous scenarios that we've made up from the world of hockey and trying to produce genuine responses to the what-if questions. My name is Jonathan Fernley, I'm here with Stephen Dowson, and Douse, here's our first Hockey Hypothetical. Who are the hockey gods?
Okay.
We hear about them all the time.
Yes, we do.
Who are they, and what are they playing at?
Yeah, well, so thinking about this, and you shouldn't think about it too much, but thinking about this, the hockey gods are misfortune or fortune, aren't they? They are elements of luck,
Yes.
or bad luck, and that's when you say he's been struck by the hockey gods, or the hockey gods don't like him. So with that in mind, I have come up with what I think are the hockey gods based on misfortune.
Okay.
So the first one straight out the bat is Ping, the god of pipes.
Ping, we got to... Oh, so we're going... There are multiple hockey gods. It is a plural.
Yes, I believe... So, in order not to offend anybody with a traditional monotheistic way of looking at religion, I believe that the hockey gods are more like the Greek and Roman gods of old, in which that they are almighty and powerful, but also arseholes. Do you know what I mean? That they wield their power as they see fit. There is no good and there is no evil. It's just their own entertainment.
There's no grand plan.
No grand plan. Very much in Terry Pratchett's small gods kind of idea, that there are lots of small gods and they grow in power depending on how much they are believed, not believed. And the hockey gods must have a big following because we call on them all the time, I think. So yes, we have Ping, the god of pipes.
Well, ping is both the best and worst noise in sports.
Yes, because it's either, oh, thank goodness, or I can't believe that hasn't gone in. And also there's a way you can worship Ping as well. Marc-Andre Fleury during the Stanley Cup finals, if it would hit the pipes, he would give them a bit of a caress with his glove. That's him worshipping the god of Ping. However, to displease the god of Ping is to strike the pipes with your
Some angry netmans have done that in their time.
Yes, and then, Ping doesn't look favourably on that. And then that's when you're going to get those ones that go ping, ping, ping in. And you go, how did that go in? That's a weird angle. So I think Ping, the god of pipes, is definitely one, and there is a way of worshipping him. Lumber, the god of sticks.
Stick snaps.
Yes. It's
of course, that's the hockey god's fault.
Yeah, it's that moment you're winding it up. It's 1-0. It's getting close towards the end of the game, and you wind a shot up, and I don't believe it. The stick has snapped. That's because you haven't said your due thanks to Lumber, the god of sticks.
Is there a god of breakaways that can stop it going the other way?
Maybe.
Because that's what normally happens on a power play, isn't it?
Well, that's the ultimate punishment from Lumber. And
okay, so that is... Lumber's power extends that far.
Oh, I think so. I think right. Definitely. And I think the way, again, you displease the god of Lumber is when you twat your stick down absolutely in frustration.
Yes, that's a bit petty, isn't it?
Yeah, very petty. You go back to the bench and you go, wham! Thank you very much.
So, Ping, the god of pipes, can wish upon you good fortune and bad fortune. A stick not snapping isn't good fortune,
no.
It's just good manufacture.
Lumber is very much a mischief god.
Oh, okay, so there's no positive side.
No.
So how do you win favour? Is there a sort of...
Treat your stick well. Treat the lumber well. Make sure you
tape it every period?
Tape it every period, Get it signed, Don't... Make sure you give away sticks to kids.
Always,
that kind of thing. Then I thought about those...
Sorry, can I just add a little bit off that? Because if a player snaps his stick, he's then got to drop the small piece of twig he's holding in his hand.
Yes.
Does that need to be discarded with properly, or can that be angrily thrown down? Is the damage already done then?
Lumber has already cursed you, hasn't he? The moment that stick snaps. So I think if you throw it away in anger and not give it away to the kid in the front row, I think that's how you displease him more.
Yeah, you don't see it thrown at players, but some just drop it and shrug the shoulders and go, oh, never mind.
Well, you have to drop it.
And some shove it down onto the ground. They really force it downwards.
Well, the league rules, which in this instance may as well be the Bible, is if you break your stick, you have to drop it. So actually doing anything else with it would seem to be against the rules.
Yeah, some sticks are dropped harder than others, though.
Yeah, that's true. So, you're playing a regular game, offenseman decides to whip it round the boards just to get a line change. It takes that lucky bounce and goes flying in. That is because Vulcan, the god of bounce, has decided to cast his shadow on the game.
It's that one piece of glass that doesn't sit quite perfectly with the others.
Yeah. And you see it in all forms of the game.
Just the second your netminder said, I'm going to head behind my net and field this one.
Yeah. This one looks fine, and that's because you've displeased Vulcan, the god of pucks, by not making his pucks cold enough.
So that's nothing. That's not a player's fault, and that's an off-ice staff
Oh yeah,
responsibility.
Everybody. I mean, the gods work in mysterious ways. You have to respect them in all
Not
levels.
that mysterious. You're just explaining them to
Well,
us.
this is all just a theory as well. Specs, the god of vision. How did the referee not see that? And that's because Specs, the god of vision, clouded his judgment. Or the unsighted netminder has fallen befoul of Specs, the god of vision.
So it's not the 6'5" forward that stood right in front of him then?
Well, no, because Specs can have him moved by one of his followers, of what is known as a defenseman, shoving him out the way. So I think that's the way you can take care of that, And the way you look, again, the way you worship and respect Specs, which is a very difficult thing to say, by the way, is again making sure that you're always courteous to the referees and linesmen, and obviously when you are at fault, being honest that it is you rather than I couldn't see, lads. Because if you give that excuse and you don't mean it, Specs will come and haunt you, I think.
So the netminder's got two gods to deal with.
I think the netminders have the most.
It's been a long time since I've seen a netminder snap their stick, so I don't think the god of lumber is.
The most of these are for. When I was doing this, I thought most of these will be for goalies because they are the ones who suffer the most bad luck and also get the most good fortune. Do you see what I mean? And I think so. They're superstitious weirdos as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I was just wondering how many hockey gods I anger when I say nothing can go wrong now.
Probably all of them. I haven't got a general like Zeus hockey overlord here.
Yeah, because so far
I think they're all competing.
The gods so far have been connected to the ice and the players on it and the coaches and the off-ice staff, perhaps. Yeah. But there's nothing for the fans in the stands who have to wear those lucky pants. Which god are they affecting?
That's a very good point.
They don't put on their lucky pants and, oh no, I can't believe it, I'm wearing something red and we're playing the Devils today.
Yes.
That's bad luck.
So we need an overall Zeus-like character, don't we?
Is there a god of lucky clothing? A sartorial god?
I'm trying to think of
who controls the lucky shirts and lucky hats?
Arenas, the god of ice rinks. Oh no, Arenas is the god of rinks, isn't he? He's the one who oversees the whole thing and looks down and looks and weighs it all in, tries to keep the other gods in check, obviously, but like Zeus couldn't quite do it all the time. So I think we have Arenas, the god of rinks. And then I've got two more.
Okay,
I've got Steel, the god of pads. Look after your pads and Steel will help you.
Yeah, because those ones that could have hit you on the pad, but you've just flexed your knee enough for it to go right in the gap.
Yeah. I think that makes perfect logical sense.
Mm.
And again, that's about treating your pads well and and looking after yourself and looking after the pads and Steel will come and help you.
Take them off carefully after again. Don't rip them off.
Put them left and then right. There's a certain way and means of doing it. Mm. The last one I thought of was Stripe, the god of referees. Now, it's not a popular thing to give referees a deity because for some of them they think they already are one. But I thought the idea of Stripe, just making sure your referees get the call. How is he interpreting the rules? I've never even heard of that rule. That's because he's been influenced by Stripe. He's like Satan.
Yes, because sometimes you'll see something, but there's still a judgment call to be made on. Is he holding him for long enough? Is that enough of an impediment?
Absolutely.
It's not a line decision where the eye god, or what do you call the eye god?
Specs.
Specs, that was it, yeah.
Makes sense.
So that's an absolute one way or the other. But yeah, one of those decision calls, which way are they going to side?
Mm.
Yeah, Stripe.
Yeah.
What colour's Stripe? Is he white or black?
I think he's both, isn't he?
Is he both? Grey?
Actually, no. I think depending on how you view Stripe is what colour you see him.
He's got an orange band around it?
He probably does.
Do, yeah.
Yes, he wields an orange band of which he strikes down the non-believers. He strikes down the enforcers and the rink rats and all the rest of it. So yeah, I have gone for very kind of almost attached to physical objects. Because again, when you look at Greek and Roman gods, they were attached to kind of like god of war, the god of romance, the god of love, I didn't want one god of hockey, because that's Wayne Gretzky. You know what I mean? But when he does go, I think he'll take over Arenas as the god of hockey. But I like the idea that there's so many gods at play, and that's when you can see that change in momentum. Because if there was one hockey god, you'd be cursed from the outset, But if you can carry favour with a couple, they can negate the negative attributes of the other. You know what I mean? If you've got a ping on your side, I think you're going to have a very good day. Your netmind is going to feel really good. Because even if Steel, the god of pads, isn't on your side, well, your best friend's right next to you, and you're going to be absolutely fine. But that's what that's my starter for 10. All right, Jonathan, my question for you, the hypothetical is quite a simple one, really. What does hockey look like in 50 years' time?
Okay, right. 2068.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go back to 1968 to see what it looked like 50 years ago and see if we could have imagined what it looks like now.
Yeah.
We've got a whole new goalie style.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing much more padding, helmets, netting around the rink.
Yeah.
The game is considerably faster, with many more teams in many more non-hockey locations.
Yeah.
If that's the trend that hockey has been on, short of coming out with anything too outlandish.
It's like
Icelandic.
Icelandic.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous thing from someone from Iceland. Without coming out with anything too outlandish, I think we're therefore going to see a game that is faster, that's played in more places, with more safety. We've gone from no helmets to you have to wear a helmet, to you have to wear a helmet with a visor. And all of those are safety issues. I hope I'm never watching the game when someone takes a slap shot to the face that is so horrible that the league or the NHL or any league decides, actually, we can't ever have that happen to one of our players again, and full face cages become mandatory. It's going to happen. And you can say, oh, no, it won't. Hockey's got to be a tough game. Well, it has, but you're all wearing helmets with visors now, and you have to. Someone is soon going to say you have to wear one with a full face cage.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be something horrible that triggers it. There was something tragic as the reason we've got netting behind the goals in all rinks.
Yeah.
If a puck, a cross-ice pass gets deflected out into one of the centre blocks, we might get netting all the way around. Tragedies force change. We see it in motorsports where the technology changes based on, how the speed and the circuits progress. You get the halo in F1 to deal with a particular type of tragedy. We're wearing helmets to deal with one sort of thing, but we're not protecting the front of the face. Something's going to happen one day, and it's going to result in full face cages.
To challenge that a little bit, because the NFL have full helmets, full everything, And actually what they're saying is that is actually detrimental to player health, because they think they're protected from everything.
Yes.
And therefore they are hitting harder and actually not protecting themselves. So actually helmets create concussions. Now, of course, it's a different type of sport, different type of contact.
True. Nothing in American football where helmets are used, or rugby where helmets aren't used, flies at 100 miles an hour.
No, that's true. Although, have you ever seen a Peyton Manning pass? When he really wants to gun it.
Oh, sorry, after his neck surgery.
Yeah, that's true.
No, so, it could be a stick to the face, but more likely it's going to be a puck to the face. And you're going to go in at a weird angle, and I don't want to discuss the specifics because you can all imagine just how horrible it could be.
Yes. And
that would force a change.
Yeah. Okay.
The quality of padding technology will improve as we start, going from big, thick, heavy padding, lots of sponge in there. You're going to get more armour plated. It's going to be more Kevlar. You're going to get better protection around the body, which means the padding can slim down, which means you can move faster.
Yeah.
Look at the NFL in the 80s. Look at the massive shoulder pads that all the running backs are wearing.
Yeah.
These are guys who are designed to be fast. These aren't linebackers trying to slow down. These are fast guys in big padding. Now they're wearing as little as possible. Still protects your shoulders, still protects your torso, but you can move quickly. I think hockey will become a slimmer game. And as the protection that you're afforded when you fall to the ice or get hit by the puck is good enough to not hurt you.
And you've seen that already in the NHL, where they've, in an attempt to improve scoring, slimmed down the goalie pads. And all that's done, actually, is made them more agile than they were before, and therefore they're making even more incredible saves.
Yeah. There'll be some tinkering to the markings on the rink. You're not going to be able to tinker with the rink sizes because we're not going to build new rinks en masse. But the blue lines have moved. There's no red line for the purpose of a two-line pass anymore. The crease continues to sometimes serve a purpose and sometimes not. And yes, you can score a goal there, and no, you can't. And we may add lines to a crease. We might have a separate crease. All sorts of things could be added. There'll be a trapezoid, then they won't. And so there will be new markings or removed markings on a hockey rink.
Are we done at 3-on-3 for overtime? Do you think